A shalom, shalom. And before I get started, as always, I want to say call Haloyim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Quadash, and double honors be unto my apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone that rule well and that teach well and that taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And peace and blessings also be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, you men, women, and children. All right, those of you who truly believe on the names Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's standing firm through faith here in these latter days. All right, and just coming back at you with another lesson. All right, Adawan Ratazah, Lord willing, to edify the lambs, the sheep of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and as you can read, or as you can see, all right, the title, it says, Tend upon the Lord without distractions. Let's talk about it. So basically, you know, that's solely what this lesson is going into, man. Okay, tending upon Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, kissing the sun. All right, meaning being occupied in prophecy, man. Okay, being occupied in these scriptures. Okay, without distractions. Okay, because there's certain, you know, we are in the world. We're not of the world, but we're in the world. Okay, so there's things that could distract you, man. You know, your woman, your kids, okay, your job, not having a job. Okay, and you're looking for one but can't find one. I ain't gonna say can't find one, but it's hard to find a job nowadays. Okay, so, you know, if you get a job, it's best to keep one in these this day and time that we're in now. Okay, but nevertheless, you know, whatever a brother or sister may be dealing with, man, this lesson is just, you know, an exhortation to myself, all right, as well as the hopeful elect. Okay, to continue to tend upon the Lord, man. Continue fighting. Continue pushing. All right, no matter what, try to distract you. Okay, no matter what tries to get in your way. Okay, swerve around it, man, and remain in the spirit, man. Okay, and the first precept I want to get, you know, is going into what? No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of his life. All right. And we're at war, man. Okay, spiritually. All right, the scriptures tells you how we're battling against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. All right, our thoughts. Okay. You see? So it's always a battle, man. You always fighting this flesh, man. All right, the spirit is always, you know, warring against the flesh. Okay, so we're spiritually at war, man. All right, so we don't want to be sidetracked and worried about things that can potentially get us out of the spirit, man. Like I say, it could be your woman, you know, your kids, you know, your job, whatever it is, man. Whatever, you know, whatever it is that could distract us, man, because we know ourselves, you know, more than brothers do. I know myself more than the brother know me. You know, I'm gonna use that example. So whatever's going on in our fleshly lives, we can't let that disturb our mission, man. All right, we can't let that draw our attention away from Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. We got to continue to stay occupied in prophecy, man. Now more than ever. Okay, seeing that we're at the end, how close we are, man. All right, but real quick, I want to get that precept. In Timothy. All right, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. And it reads, it says, No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. And it says that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier. Right? So that's our goal. That's our mission. Okay? Is to please Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. To the best of our ability. Okay? And not be sidetracked by the affairs of this life, man. Okay? You know, because once again, we're in the flesh. There's going to be certain things that get in your way. But the scriptures, you know, speak about if thy left eye offend thee, pluck it out, man. So whatever's in your way of this mission, either you got to remove it or you got to make whatever adjustment you need to make, okay, to continue in this ministry, to continue serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. All right, that you be not entangled, okay, with this world. Okay, and in just a minute, all right, we're going to go a little bit more deeper into tending upon the Lord without distractions. Okay, after we get the precept, I'm going to Google, all right, that particular scripture. Okay, that particular phrase, that particular precept, all right, which is very important, all right, in this ministry of ours. Okay, to not be distracted. Well, hey, let's look that up real quick, too. If I may, real quick. You know, distracted. Because it's very easy, you know, once again, to get distracted, man. All right, being in this flesh. All right. But once again, we got to snap out of it, man. All right. And real quick, I looked up in the Bible, being distracted means, it says having your mind, attention, or devotion pulled away from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua toward worldly worries, task, or sin. Right? And 2 Ezra, the 14th chapter tells us what? All right. To cast away the burdens of man. All right, the worries. Okay, you know, worrying about bills, worried about how you gonna pay this, how you gonna pay that. You worry about it, you know, damn, you ain't got no job yet, or what, anything for that matter, man. Worried about what somebody think about you. We ain't got time to be worried about none of that. Okay. Our mind, our attention should be on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? And it reads, it says, it describes a divided heart or a focus derailed from spiritual priorities. Right? So that's a divided heart, man. If you get distracted, okay, and your eye is no longer single. All right? And that's why the scriptures goes into in Revelation. Remember from whence thou art fallen. Okay, and do the first works, man. All right, this is our first love, man. Okay, this truth. All right, so we have to continuously tend to it, man, without distractions. Even though there are distractions, if that makes sense. Work around it, man. Adjust. Okay? Make room. Make way for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Make time for him. Okay? And let me see. Salakia. Yep, see, hey, that's a spirit. You know, that it ties hand in hand with that precept that I'm getting ready to get. That 1 Corinthians, you know, the 7th chapter. All right, distraction. Okay. So it says drawn apart. You know, so if you're distracted, you're drawn apart, man. Okay, you're being separated from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and we don't want that. Okay? You know, we want to continue to be stable in these times, man. But in order for that to happen, we have to continue to tend upon the Lord, man. Okay? And not be drawn apart. Because that's what the flesh wants. That's what Satan wants. Okay? That's what the world wants. Okay? Us to be drawn apart. Okay? But remember, no man that warred entangleth himself with the affairs of his life. Because we're at war in the spirit, man. So we have to remember that and continue to fight. Continue to pray. Okay? Continue to fast. Continue to watch. Okay? Read. Study. Okay? Whatever we got to do to stay close to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Okay? And it says the root meaning involves being pulled in different directions. You know, basically unstable, man. Okay? And it says creating confusion or a fractured focus. Right? You know, fractured is something that's broken. It's apart. All right? It ain't put together, man. All right? So we want to be devoted to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua at the end of the day. Okay? You know, undistracted. And enough for me rambling, you know, Salakia. So we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 7:35. And it reads, and this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye, you know, ye, us as an individual, because the scriptures speak about what? Working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay? So this is what we have to do individually. Okay? I can't do it for another man can't do it for me. All right? Your own salvation has to be worked out. All right? And it reads, it says, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. Right? And that's easier said than done, bro. But we got to fight for that. Okay? We want the kingdom. So you got to fight for that, man. You got to fight to get away from your woman and the kids. Okay? Away from the family and, you know, go study, go read, go do a lesson. All right? Some brothers work 12 to 16 hours a day. Nevertheless, you better make time for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? Because once again, this is our first love, man. This is the main thing that's supposed to get attention from us, man. Okay? And it, let me see. I'm going to get this in the NLT. Then I'm going to get the quote. I'm going to quote it in the Google. You know, the meaning of this verse, which we know what it means, but to further get more edification out of it. All right, 1 Corinthians 7:35, it says, I am saying this for your benefit. Right, so this is for our benefit at the end of the day. Okay, this is an exhortation, man. What's written aforetime is written for our learning. This is written for our learning, for us to learn and grow from. Okay, and take heed to. Okay, because this is profitable. This is a profitable mindset. Okay, whereas being distracted, that's an unprofitable mindset. That's going to get you destroyed, man. Eventually. And it happens, you know, to the best of us, but to the best of our ability as well, we, you know, we make up for it. Okay? Because once again, we are in the flesh and we fall short. But we got to continue to have this mindset, man. Okay, and I'm going to keep reading. It's finna go into it. It says, I am saying this for your benefit, not to place restrictions on you. Right. Not to, make this a burden on you, but just, hey, exhorting you. It says, I want you to do whatever will help you serve the Lord best. Right. And we all know what we need to do to serve the Lord best. Okay. Because we all, we're all in the truth, but we all got different lives, man. Okay. And different schedules. And, so we have to do it how we're able to do it. We have to adjust how we're able to adjust. Okay. Everybody's schedule is different. But nevertheless, it has to, it'll work out, for the better good. If you putting the Lord first, you keeping him in your mind. Okay, you staying occupied in prophecy. All right. It says, I want you to do whatever will help you serve the Lord best, with as few distractions as possible. Right. So we want to, to the best of our ability, have few distractions as possible. Okay. Because we know, being in this truth, or not this truth, this world, comes with distractions, man. Comes with confusion. But we got to fight through that, man. And do whatever's going to help us best. What's going to help us serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua better. Okay? Which is to adjust. Okay? Learn how to adjust, man. And this is me talking to myself first. Learn how to adjust. Okay? Because the Lord requires, those sacrifices, man. Okay? What the scripture says, obedience is better than sacrifice. So at the end of the day, that's obeying Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Okay, tending upon him, even though there's distractions, there's confusion around you, but you still fighting. You still pushing. Okay, you working your way around the distractions instead of letting the distractions work their way around you. You see, the Lord sees that, man, and he sups with us more. Okay. Yeah, man. Distractions also will try to come, with your hell, the hell that we catch, that can distract you. Okay? To make you all bleary-eyed, but shit. We got to, get in the spirit, man. Stay in the spirit. Okay? And understand that this is what comes with this walk, man. Okay? Trials and tribulations, man. You see? This is what we signed up for. But nevertheless, we are required to still push, man. Fight. Teach. Warn the flock. Okay? This is our reasonable service, man. So this has to be tended to no matter what. Remember I quoted earlier, as the scripture says, kiss the son lest he be angry, man. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua has to constantly be tended to, man. All right? Or he's going to become angry. It's written that he's a jealous power, man. So if we're not giving him enough of our time, which we can never do enough, but if we're slacking, the Lord is he gonna let us know. Okay? He gonna let you know, man. And that ties into, the video the Elder Wamba did. Know when the Lord is speaking to you, man. We know when we need to pick it up, man. Okay? Because you're going to feel convicted in your mind. You're going to feel like you ain't doing enough. All right? Like I say, we can never do enough, but we know when we're slacking, so to speak. We know when we need to pick it up a notch. All right? And, Salakia. Now let me go into this, let me get this on the Google. I looked up 1 Corinthians 7:35, meaning. And it says, the Apostle Paul explains that his advice about remaining single is meant to help believers. right? Because he even mentioned, how it's better to not even marry, not to even have a woman, not to even deal with a woman, right? Although there's nothing wrong with it, but with women comes distractions. With women comes problems. So that's why Apostle Paul, he exhorted, if you ain't got to deal with one, don't even deal with one. Okay? Because it ain't nothing but problems, man. All right? But nevertheless, those of us who have women, ain't nothing wrong with it. We got women, kids. Just don't be distracted by it, man. Do what you need to do within this ministry, man. All right? Just make sure we're giving you how about Shemi Shai his, and then ain't nothing wrong with dealing with the family. Okay? Because we know in our mind, okay, I took care of the Lord business first. All right, now I can play with the family a little bit. All right, but after that, it's back to business, man. Okay? Because that's all this is at the end of the day, business. All right, this is our real job. Okay, we're storing up the real 401k, 144k out of one Ratazah. We'd be at that number. But this is the real riches, man. And it reading on, it says, he does not want to trap or control them. Instead, his goal is to help them live properly and focus fully on Yahweh by Shemi Shai without any distractions. Right? So that's an exhortation to us, man. That precept in 1 Corinthians 7:35. That's an exhortation. On how to live properly. That ain't trying to control. Apostle Paul wasn't trying to control us. Like I said, once again, he's exhorting us, okay, to continue in the faith. Okay? To continue to keep your eyes single. That don't mean that you ain't doing it, but could continue to do it. And if the shoe fits, which if the shoe fits, being distracted, because it happens to all of us, man. Ain't none of us perfect. Just correct it, adjust. All right, adjust, man. So we can continue to focus fully on Yahweh by Shemi Shai without distractions. All right. And this is the context of the verse. It's part of a larger discussion. Paul is writing to the church in Corinth about marriage, singleness, and life choices, right? So you could apply this with everything. Just life, period. Because we in this life, we in this world, but we're just not of the world. Okay? So we gotta be, distracted as less as possible, man. Okay, because this world is full of distractions. It's full of confusion, man. All right, and we don't want to get trapped, okay, in the snares of this world, man. The affairs, okay, of this world, man. And let me see. Salakia. Right. So the key theme, all right, which is for our benefit, is finna go into. It said Paul wants the readers to know he cares about their well-being and freedom from stress. Right? And that's us. Beginning with our apostles and elders on down. That's why we exhort each other, man. Okay? We care about each other's well-being and freedom from stress. Because this world will stress you the hell out, man. And that's why the Lord left us the comforter, man. Okay? Yahweh Shai, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. Okay, of the Bible. So we can run to the scriptures for comfort, man, when we're feeling down or you having a bad day or things ain't going your way, things feel unfair, hey, well, go to the scriptures, man. Okay? You know, the scripture says what? Through thy precepts I get understanding, man. So this is where the understanding lies at the end of the day. Okay? On how we should conduct ourselves. On how to be better servants for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. All right? And another key theme, it says no strict restraint. It says he is not putting a trap or a heavy burden on anyone's shoulders. Right, he was just exhorting. You know, once again, to help brothers stay fully focused, which that's what we're doing. That's what we're all doing. Those of us who teach. Okay, we're talking to ourselves first and foremost. All right, as well as other brothers who are fighting, who's striving, who's serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Okay? This ain't to restrict you. All right, but this just, you know, exhorting. You know, to, hey, continue in the faith, man. Stay focused. We almost out of here, just like Akim say today. When we exhort each other, stay focused, Akim. You know, we almost out of here. That's basically what Apostle Paul was doing. You see? And it says another key theme, undivided devotion. It says the main goal is to love and serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua with a single, clear focus and no competing worries. Right, and that's easier said than done. But this is what we rehearse. This is what we practice, man. Okay, we rehearse the righteous acts. This is a righteous act. Okay, serving the Lord without a distraction. Okay, even though there are distractions. But you swerving around them motherfuckers. Still doing the work of the Lord, man. So, hey, call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for that. Okay, for that undivided devotion, man. Okay. You know, in order for us to keep our eyes single, man. And focus in, man. All right, and that was beautiful too, man. It says undivided devotion. The main goal is to love and to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua with a single, clear focus and no competing worries. Right. And how do we love the Lord? You know, the scripture says, if you love me, keep my commandments, man. So that's how we show our love to the best of our ability, which we can't keep the law 100%. Okay, but we keep, you know, whatever we can keep to the best of our ability. And ultimately, we show we love the Lord through faith. Okay, through obeying him, man. All right, through believing on him, as the scripture said. Okay. And that's basically it. You know, and I don't want to rot this out. You know, Lord willing, this was of edification. You know, unto the elect out there. And I want to say a Bible ball and quorum to the elect of Yasharallah. Hey, Shalom.